accused, questioned, poked at. There's a silent split second where your instincts try to drag you into an explanation. That's the trap. The average man lunges for words. You misunderstood. That's not what I meant. Let me clarify. It sounds reasonable. It feels noble. But the moment you defend yourself, you kneel. You accept their frame. You confess without meaning to that their judgment matters more than your composure. Power doesn't live there. Here is the colder truth. The man who explains places himself beneath the accuser. The man who refuses to explain stands above the entire exchange. Silence is not absence. Silence is altitude. From up there, you are not pleading to be understood. You are deciding whether the conversation deserves to exist. Watch any room when an accusation is thrown. People don't really evaluate facts. They watch for control. They study faces. They measure tone. If you stiffen, scramble, and rush to correct, the room smells fear. If you sit still, eyes calm, breathing slow, the room senses certainty. Presence carries farther than paragraphs. You don't need to win a point when you already own the tempo. This is how you reverse the power. You don't block the blow. You step aside and let it fall. The accusation lands with a thud and lies there, unacknowledged. Now it must prove itself without your help. The attacker repeats himself, louder, messier. He starts to over-explain, to search for allies, to perform. The more he performs, the more obvious it becomes. He needed you to react, to look strong. You denied him oxygen. He suffocates in his own smoke. Understand the mechanics. When you defend, you shift the burden from the accuser to yourself. You enter his frame, his timing, his language, his emotional weather. You are on defense, answering questions you never chose, playing a game you didn't design. When you refuse to defend, the burden remains where it belongs. If he has a case, let him build it. Let him tire himself carrying the weight. If he has nothing, the silence will expose that faster than any speech. In private life, the tactic is subtler and even more effective. You don't care about me anymore. The trap is to pour out reassurance, to validate the frame, to chase a feeling. Don't. Let the emotion pass first. Hold your ground like stone in the river. When you do speak, keep it short and finished. That's not how I see it. No debate, no essay, no opening for escalation. Your calm becomes the authority in the room. Your stillness reclaims the tempo. You're not cold, you're controlled. Control is respect's native language. There are three primary tools that replace defense. The first is silence. It's the default. Use it like a closed door. It tells the room, nothing here to collect. The second is deflection. You don't acknowledge the hit. You send the ball back without effort. Interesting. Present your alternative. The third is the precision cut. Short lines that end the scene instead of feeding it. Noted. Time will tell. That's your read. Each one closes the loop without inviting another turn. When you must reframe, do it with statements that expose the insecurity behind the jab. Confidence offends the insecure. People call you manipulative when they can't control you. Everyone says fake when they stop getting what they want. You did not say, I'm innocent. You said, you can't reach me. That is status, not supplication. There will be moments when the most powerful move isn't silence in the room, Its absence from the room. Do not respond. Do not post. Do not text back. Do not block either. Let your absence sit like a mirror. People addicted to attention disintegrate without it. They escalate, repeat themselves, reach for witnesses, and with each attempt, they look more unbalanced. You remain still. The contrast does the work for you. Online, the temptation to defend multiplies. Understand the arena. The crowd doesn't reward accuracy. It rewards frame. Never write a paragraph to answer a one-line jab. If you say anything at all, you will be told that reputation must be protected with explanations. That is half true. Reputation must be protected, but mostly with consistency, not commentary. People don't believe what you say about yourself as much as they believe what your patterns say about you. Carry yourself with the same calm in storm and in sun. Enforce your standards privately and publicly. Speak rarely, finish cleanly, exit early. Over time, that stack of behavior hardens into aura. Aura walks into a room 10 seconds before you do and makes certain kinds of disrespect unthinkable. If you want tactics, here are the ones that pay forever. Decide in advance that you do not respond to provocations thrown for spectacle. If someone wants a show, don't be the music. Allow silence to make them repeat themselves. Repetition looks like insecurity. When you do answer only once. Say the last line, not the next line. Trade urgency for gravity. Slow is heavy. Guard your face. The micro-flinch betrays more than a monologue. Train your posture to remain unchanged under pressure. Shoulders low, breath deep, eyes steady. That alone convinces people you know something they don't, even when you don't need to. Speak in finished phrases instead of open loops. That's settled. We're done here. Schedule it. Doors close when sentences close. Learn the art of selective misunderstanding. When someone lobs a petty jab wrapped as a joke, tilt your head and treat it as literal logistics. Dates, numbers, deliverables. They wanted heat. You offered concrete. Petty attacks die in the cold. Know when to invert. Occasionally you take their label and wear it like armor so it can't be used against you. Arrogant? I prefer decisive. Cold? I prefer steady. You are not negotiating adjectives. You are defining them on your terms. The frame bends to the hand that names things. Remember, the goal is not to be seen as good. It is to be experienced as inevitable. Good is a vote. Inevitable is gravity. The highest ground isn't won with speeches. It's won with proportion. Small men spend large words on small slights. Large men spend small words on large matters. Examine your outputs. If you are verbose where you should be brief and silent where you should be strong, reverse it. Speak less about yourself. Do more in straight lines. Let results become your publicist. If they press you in public, you always think you're right. You act like you're above us. Pause. Let the air tighten. Scan the room with the faintest hint of amusement, as if you're deciding whether the moment is worth the oxygen. Then either leave it in silence or drop a single tile that ends the game. You seem emotional today. Not my read. We'll see. Do not repeat yourself. Do not decorate. Clean edges cut deepest. Build the habit of ending rather than extending. End calls. End meetings. End arguments you never needed. When you close the window, weather can't get in. People learn faster from doors that stay shut than from explanations that beg to be reopened. The paradox will reveal itself soon enough. The less you defend, the less you must defend. Attacks shrink when they fail to produce a show. Your restraint writes a reputation that travels ahead of you. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't chase. He doesn't explain. And once that story solidifies, even your critics become careful. Careful critics are quiet critics. You are not trying to be loved. Love is fickle. You are not trying to be understood. Understanding is negotiable. You are establishing weight. Weight bends the room without raising a voice. Weight comes from restraint, consistency, and the ruthless refusal to step into frames you did not choose. So the next time someone calls you out, at the table, in the meeting, online, resist the tug to explain your soul. Let the jab echo in an empty chamber. If you speak, speak last and speak little. Redirect when useful. Cut when necessary.